When I was 6 years old, my mom brought a bike back home and she was like, okay, listen, you're going to be sharing it with your older brother. And I was like so stoked about having a bike. It didn't matter whether I was going to share it with him or not. I remember the first couple of days, it was sunny. My brother was teaching me how to ride. And you know, back in the days when you had those pedals, and if you miss a pedal stroke and the pedal just hits you behind your Achilles, I had a couple of those. And then I think within that day, I learned how to really ride the bike. And I would go out on rounds around the township, and come back a little bit late. It was a feeling of freedom, I mean, you're a young child, you're 5, 6 years old, you don't know anything about freedom, and we were living under the apartheid regime back then. But it didn't matter to us because we're not aware of all that stuff. But still, though, I felt free, and it was a surreal moment whereby you're on this thing and it's moving at 15 kilometers an hour, whatever it is, but you were also part of it, You're part of that speed. It's indescribable, man. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it was just euphoric, I think. That's the only word I can actually use to describe it. That was one of the good memories for me, not knowing that it will be part of my life for forever, technically speaking. Langa is just stone's throw away from Pinelands, so that's where my parents obviously are from. So that's where I grew up from, literally when I was a youngster. I got my first bike June 1997, and my first ride, I will never forget it. It was from Langa to Durbanville. To me, that's a long way away. So I was becoming serious now in cycling. There was a cycling club at school as well. I did my first Argus, 98. I think my time was 4 hours 30 minutes, and it used to finish at Camps Bay. So in 2000, I got recognized by a team, and they wanted me to join them. And I was in standard 8, grade 10, and I was like, man, because that was the tricky situation, because I was trying to make sure that I get great marks so that I can become a physiotherapist, because that's what I wanted to do at UCT. And the guys wanted me to ride for them. I was like, no, man, I need to focus on my studies. But I still rode. 2005, I met Lutando and Amos. And Amos was like, listen, man, we want you to ride for the team. I mean, I hadn't been riding. So I started with the team. They did some training camps. So there were guys that were invited from Joburg, Durban, to come congregate here in Cape Town, because we were going to form this first black professional cycling team. So luckily I was part of that team, and I was chosen as the vice captain of the team. And I think the CEO back then saw, which I don't know where I got, my leadership qualities within the team and how I was, rallying the troops on what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. And he was like, listen, man, I know you want to go do your thing with sports science, but we'll offer you something to manage the team. 2014, we then linked up with MTN. And I remember sending them a proposal coming off a flight from East London at the Carousel, sending them a proposal of this facility. And literally a year and 2 months later, this was finished. When we started as an organization, we wanted to groom cyclists, right? That was the first intention, just to have people riding their bikes. But we're like, no, man, we got to have a holistic approach into this thing, let's use the cycling and be part of the academics. So we use the bike as a carrot to lure kids in, and then we also then supported them in terms of their academics. When we started this organization, this was just a stomping ground. This facility, this whole land was just open area. It was dunes, and it was literally the stomping grounds for criminals. So what happened is that when we came in, we cordoned off the whole area, and then the city obviously put in that big light, that floodlight. We've had 24-hour security since 2007, every day of every hour of every minute at Velokaya. What that then did, it became a deterrent to criminals. So there were no longer robberies or criminal activities now in this area. That's the impact that it has done, is that it has lowered the crime levels in the area, significantly added, and it has then given some of the kids, if not most, a second chance in life in choosing and having an option to become part of the organization and not become problematic at home. We've been operating now for a little over 12 years in terms of the BMXing. So the guys, I mean, as you've seen, they've gotten some accolades provincially and nationally. That's probably one of the things. And they've been able, almost like a ritual, every year they go to the nationals, they bring back medals. So this is one of the coveted programs that we have here at Velokaya. I mean, Khayelitsha as a whole is it's one of the biggest townships in South Africa. It has a lot of potential in terms of what your drive is, but that is all dependent on the individual, on what they want. Obviously, you do have your social ills, but if your focus is success and through whatever medium you want to use, then Khayelitsha does provide those opportunities, and you obviously have to work probably 5 times harder to make sure that you obtain them, because they don't come easily.
My name is Olisa Makobalo. I'm 25. Currently, I'm finalizing sports science degree. I'm a manager, a coach here at Velokaya, BMX program and MTB program. I grew up here. I love this place. This is home, Velokaya, Kaya for home. The main focus is on the development. We're doing all that we can, applying our skills and expertise to groom and make these kids become better people, in life. Just like the way I am, I believe Velokaya played a huge role, and other people as well. And we trust God that He will give us strength to work hand in hand. We're learning from people like Sipo. They're treating us so well and with so much experience from them. So yeah, we're doing our best to develop these kids.
I've got a good team though. I've got a good team that is very diligent and do adhere to the rules of the organization and also portray what we are about as Velokaya.
So my name is Sean Doch, and I'm the operations manager at the Velokaya Life Cycling Academy, and I also assist with the PR in media and the Chipmunk program, which is a kids-based program from our grassroots. This space, of course, is a space for kids, particularly kids who come from homes that don't have much, and we technically provide that platform for them to make a success of their lives by providing a space or an incubator for them to do the education, have a meal, as well as also participate in sport once upon a time previously deprived, that being cycling as well as also BMXing and mountain biking. So this space is technically to hone, grow and develop, but above all to give kids the potential to self-discover and also recover. This is where the first initial clubhouse or second phase of the clubhouse was. So we had 12-meter containers as well as also a 6 to 7-meter container as the commentary box. and all activity used to take place inside these containers, from camping overnight to studying homework to gymming. Everything took place, and this technically became an incubator of what you see all around over here. Humble beginnings, but above all there was a common purpose, there was a narrative, which was to develop kids on and off the bike by using cycling. On my right hand side is a program called Infinite Family. So this is a mentorship based program. So kids now have the opportunity to physically engage through a Skype Zoom medium platform with mentors twice a week for 1 hour. And many of our kids, you find that some of them aren't sporting inclined. Some want to become a doctor, some maybe want to become an engineer, or some want to get into entertainment. And now the narrative has changed, not just being cycling and education, but being all holistic. And with a platform like this, now kids get to interact and actually have an understanding of what they want to become, what it takes to become a lawyer, what it takes to become a businessman. And now it's one-on-one engagement. And of course, at the time, we never had that luxury. Like, we only had ourselves, we had this dream that we had and the content. But with growth, of course, comes development and comes a different perspective of life.
My name is Wanga Moshani. I'm 21-year-old professional BMXer from Kailicha in Cape Town. I love cycling so much. And I've got a lot of dreams and goals to achieve. I'm looking forward. That's why I love cycling, and I've got passion for this. It's not just something, it's a passion that drives me on this BMX that I'm doing. Last year I came 5th in the elites, South African BMX elites. So now I got an opportunity to race SHMs in this December. So if I did good in December at the SHMs, I might get an opportunity to ride World Champs next year. I'm looking forward and I'm preparing. Especially in township, there is this stigma that you're so old to be riding bicycles, other people are driving cars. So it's a challenge, but if you know what you want in Kailicha, that you must have the drive, you must know what you want, then yeah. And I'm not even shy about that, my bicycle, so it's my baby.
Right, how was your day in French?
My day was very good.
What did you learn at school?
I learned English and I learned how to respect people.
Okay.
And I learned values.
Okay. So how are they treating you? Are they giving you problems, bro?
No, not at all.
Are you handling it?
And I'm the leader. Yeah.
I get high five. This is technically like a timeline of the academy, successes, achievements. And these are the two co-founders, Amos Ukubu as well as also Glenn Brumbu. But of course they're not as hands-on, and they've also moved on for their own respective pursuits. And this is technically a narrative of who we are. So Anita Zanani, she came out about 2008, and she was raw, rough. A girl that just sat opposite the road, so these kids riding, and then she's like, look, I want to ride. And I thought, you're a girl. I was like, look, I want to ride. And from there, a year later, she got ranked world 6. So this is a media room / chill room / book room. So kids have the opportunity to grab a book, do some homework, read up, drop the last Insta, the last WhatsApp message in this room. And then of course, when we do have sessions in terms of when we do go to race prep, we are able to show, and well as also watch Tour de France. Luxuries, we never had that side of the game. So this is technically the heart of the academy, whereby kids can come in, they can do their homework, they can do research, Because one of the biggest difficulties for many families or homes is that they don't necessarily have access to a computer or to a quiet space of learning. So by them coming into this room, by them being able to have a teacher who's able to teach them, and above all, to be a mother, that adds value to them as a whole. So this becomes a space whereby they're able to do their homework, catch up, do revision, get assistance. But if you can look at the setup, this is something which you don't normally find in townships. And I think that also sets the caliber of bar of which you want your kids to aspire to, but above all, providing the necessary resources for them to be able to become successful both on and off the bike. So this is Miss Mickey Makas. So she is the head of programs, and she also acts as the mother of the program, in the sense that in every house, if there needs to be law and order, there has to be mom. And she acts as that, whereby she is able to support, because as guys or as men, one of the biggest difficulties when we have female riders is that we aren't able to communicate, or we aren't able to address certain sensitive issues that she would be able to do. So in a way, we have found that now the females that are to register and join the academy, they have a much more longer longevity than as before.
This is one of the organizations that makes impact in our community in terms of providing with nutrition, helping kids with their studies, then again concentrating on the kids' fitness. So it has, I want to say it's a backbone of our community in Khayelitsha, because if parents send their kids in our organization, they are sure that their kids are safe.
So we call them the soup mamas, and there's a story behind it. So I think back in 2011, if I'm not mistaken, they saw our kids coming into the facility, because they live like stone's throw away from us. And as pensioners, they loved what they were seeing, because in their neighborhood, which some of these kids are from, these kids are the different ones. They're very respectful, you know, and they listen to their elders. And these ladies were like, you know what, man, these guys are doing such a great job at Velokaya. Let's go find out what we can do for them. They approached us and they told us what they wanted to do, and they put money together, their pension money, and they made soup on a Friday for these kids. And then the following week they did the same thing on a Friday. And the week after, and I was like, no, man, this is not right. These are pensioners, and they're taking money out of what they have and feeding these kids. It's a great idea, but guys, let's come up with something. Let's come with a budget. So we then gave them a budget. We're like, okay, listen, every week we'll give you money and ingredients, and then you guys can make whatever at the lady's house. Fast forward to 2014, I was like, maybe we could have a kitchen. And I told the ladies, they're like, that would be great, but hey, do you think it will happen? I was like, no, we'll make it happen, you know? So fast forward to last year, when we did the official opening in May, we had our kitchen. The most difficult part is the kids that you get. I mean, there's been a couple of kids that have been so talented in the sporting field that they get caught in the limelight of being cool. And you see them 2 years, 3 years down the line, you know, they like drunkards now, they're alcoholics and all that stuff, you know, and you can't, you know, I'm gonna say I've become immune to it, but you can't help but think, but geez, man, if this boy had just stayed on, this definitely would not have happened, you know. So those are things that actually I don't like seeing, but it's part of reality. And I tell the guys as well, that I'm like, guys, listen, because they're like, no, we need to help all the kids. I'm like, we can't help everybody, because at the end of the day, you cannot control their lives. They've chosen that path.
My name is Mishlali Matiso, and what I like is about the sport is not everything is about competition. It's all about fun and riding the bicycle and learn new things. And Actually, when I actually joined Velokaya, I didn't actually know about all of these sports. I just saw my brother just riding his bike here. And then I just asked my brother, usually, why don't we try this out? And then he said yes, and then he joined. And then I joined after him. And then he became like very good and very powerful. And I just liked him because he's having fun. Because I don't like him like out in there and learning all these bad things. So I'm really happy about the sport, and I'm really happy that Velokaya actually built this for the kids in Kalicha.
My name is Michelle Makiso, and I'm 13 years old. And I was doing like bad things when I was not here, like bad things like stealing stuff and all like that. And I came here, like I changed so much. I changed. I used to like want to swear at somebody, now I don't. Like I wave at somebody, and I like giving, like when somebody don't have food, like they're hungry, like I have something and I just pass it on because that can make your life even more further.
Growing up, I was very fortunate in the sense of my upbringing. I didn't really struggle, both academically and financially. I think the struggle only started when I asked my mom, and why do people suffer? Why do we stay in leafy suburbs? And then people, because when I came to a construction site once, I was just taken away, like look at all this poverty, like why, like kids. And from there, I prayed and I asked God to use me. That's when later on in a way, I saw this guy cycling. And I've never seen it before. And they were wearing the kit, and I think Sipo was amongst them. I watched them, and then I'm like, wow, I want this. Because it would be conducive to what I want to achieve.
In every sphere that we tap into, we create gems, you know? And I think the guys, because they are so much into this bubble, some of them don't understand the impact that they have within the organization and what the organization has done to actually better those other individuals and even the world. I mean, there's riders, there are black riders out there in the world who have come through the ranks of Velokaya. Had Velokaya not been around, you would not see those black cyclists. It's not a matter of arrogance, but it's acknowledgement of what the organization has done to be where it is. And we owe it up to all the guys from yesteryear that have been part of this organization to be where we are now, you know, because without them, we wouldn't be here. I get a lot of joy from helping people. You know, I don't need to drive a Mercedes Benz or whatever it is, or a Ferrari or whatever car it is, or live in the biggest house. I'm rich in a sense that I'm able to go to sleep at night and knowing that I've done the best that I can to actually enrich someone else's life. We can't change the whole of Khayelitsha, and most definitely we can't change the world, but one person can change how their outcome becomes in the near future.